Thanks a lot, Tommy. And yeah, just starting with our cover photo here, the very aptly and obviously named Red Mountain. You can see there's a tunnel there. You know, one of the benefits that we have with this project is that there is a full-size production ramp. It's a 5 by 5 meter underground decline from which we're currently doing infill and step-out drilling. And yeah, a couple of weeks ago took Tommy underground. He was completely in his element down there. He didn't look awkward at all, surrounded by greasy miners and drillers and in the darkness. So it's really great to have him up there. And I'm very grateful for Tommy's support, both personally and with IDM over the past couple of years in our Red Mountain project. Also on this photo, you see under where it says subscriber, just a little bit of geology, that yellow cliff there. That's the discovery outcrop for the Mark Zone, the first of three of our most significant resource areas, and the deposit plunges straight underneath the summit of Red Mountain. So I really want to emphasize the duality to our story at IDM. You know, our value is underpinned by one of the few near-term, affordable underground development projects in Canada. You know, Canadian projects are obviously leveraged by the weak currency, Canadian dollar. You know, we're just probably trading $150 below all-time highs in the price of gold in Canadian dollars. And this would be an affordable project for us. If you go to our website, you can download our preliminary economic assessment. It shows an estimated capex of about $111 million. This would be a very low-cost producer. We'd produce gold between $400 and $450 US per ounce. And the major reasons for that is it's a wide ore body. It averages 16 meters wide, so it's amenable to low-cost bulk mining techniques. 70% is amenable to long hole stoping, which you do like a 3, 4, 5,000 ton blast at a time. And it's good grade. Our fully diluted life of mine average grade is 7 grams per ton gold and about 21 grams per ton silver, and there's some higher grade areas within there. We're currently full on our feasibility study process. We're targeting completion in around February. We're going to keep on doing our resource expansion drilling underground until the end of November. We'll shut down for a few months during the winter, probably starting up again in late February. So we're going to try and time that feasibility study for right in around PDAC. And additionally, our permitting and all-important community consultation is well advanced. As soon as I finish the talk here, I'm heading up to Stewart, which is my hometown. Honestly, it's a pretty easy open house we're going to have there. Stewart's probably one of the most pro-mining places on the planet. And we've got a great relationship with the local Nisga'a First Nations, and I'll be heading on to those villages to see who have, in fact, been our biggest cheerleaders for this project. The other duality is certainly the exploration upside. This is a big mineralizing system. It's about the same size footprint as KSM or Bruce Jack Sulphurette's Valley of the Kings. Same geological age, same sort of structural controls. We heard Adam talk about KSP. All of these deposits are within sort of 5 to 8 million years old of each other. Similar geochemistry, and I believe has potential for a very significant mineralizing system. And part of that is we've announced some surface results, and we're currently exploring with the drill bit right now what we call Lost Valley. And this is an area, I started my career here as a junior geologist in 1992, 93. And this was an area completely underlain by glacial ice. And it sounds ridiculous, but this is an important discovery aspect to the Golden Triangle. Like Valley of the Kings, my uncle used to have that in a junior called New Hawk in the late 80s. Valley of the Kings was under the ice. I worked as a student at what was called Kerr Sulphurettes. Now it's called Kerr Sulphurettes Mitchell, because Mitchell was under a glacier. This new Lost Valley area, probably 5 years ago, just melted out from under the ice, and we've got some very good results there. And here's some of them. Starting with the drill bit. We've been doing all the feasibility, call it level drilling, converting inferred resources the last little bit. Most of our deposit is measured and indicated. There's only about 11% of the resource is in inferred, so we're converting that over to M&I. Significant results we've also announced. It was originally thought that the zone was closed off to the south, right next to that portal that I showed in the first photo. It looks like the zone actually takes a steep easterly dip instead of a westerly dip, sort of is folded over there, and is now wide open to the south. So holes 1181 and 1182 were from that end. I'll show you a slide of that in a second. But very good grades here and very good continuity. So an important thing to look at for any sort of high-grade underground program. We've discovered a new zone that we call the NK zone, 6 meters of 7 grams per ton, about 100 meters below our current decline. The decline dips down towards it, so we're going to be doing some step-out drilling from that this fall. And additionally, some of the surface trenching values, when Tommy was out, we were putting the first drill hole into it, drilling these high-grade structures that are different. They're likely a younger geological age, but very good grades. One trench, 33 meters long, averaged 18 grams per ton, and another one just above it, 9 meters of 22 grams per ton. Additionally, we're well financed. We just closed a $9 million raise, mostly institutional and corporate, and so we're sitting with about $15 million in the treasury. So here we are in terms of location. We're, by northern BC standards, very good location, just a little bit to the west of my hometown of Stewart, close to grid power, deep water port facility, and it won't take much work at all to get road access into this project. So mentioned we closed a financing. We have a very good shareholder base. We do have a lot of stock out at 279 million shares, plus a bunch of warrants. But the majority of it is held by institutions, very good ones, such as Delbrook Capital, RBC or RBIM, Chris Beers Fund, Century Select, Libra just came in our most recent financing, Earth Resource, which is a UK group, Mackenzie, US Global, and we also have two corporates, Osisko Mining and Premier Gold, and Kinross owns a small percent. Premier participated in the most recent round of financing. In terms of economics, you know, mining is supposed to be about making money, not about making metal, and these high-grade underground gold projects are the way to go. Companies like Klondex got their start from one modest high-grade deposit such as this one. So this can be a real company builder. Right? Put in today's metal prices, you're looking at over a 40% internal rate of return. So it's going to be, I'll get into our news flow in a second, but it's going to be very busy for the next year in terms of different milestones that we're targeting. Photos really don't do this part of the world justice. That view window is about 8 kilometers. Lost Valley is that area where we've made the new surface discoveries. That was completely covered with ice when I worked here in the early 1990s. Our deposit itself is right along the skyline where it says Mark AVJW. So in terms of our economics here, we're looking at 1,000 ton per day underground operation. We produce gold, silver, doré on site. It's good metallurgy here. We would backfill all of our development rock. Real small footprint. So this is a very simple project to permit. And we've had tremendous support and involvement from both the federal, provincial levels of government, as well as with the Nisga'a First Nation, one of the only First Nations in the province to have a settled treaty. So they act as the third level of government. Mining crews would live in the community of Stewart. This would be a tremendous benefit to my hometown. We would not have a workers' camp like for most projects in northern Canada. We are expecting to be able to make an investment decision mid-next year. We think we can build this in less than a year. The example we use is we work closely with JDS Mining and Energy, and in 9 months, call it 10 months, they've developed a Silvertip mine in northern BC, a very similar sized and scoped project to what we're dealing with here, so we'd be looking at production in 2018. So a little bit of geology. You can see that there's 3 primary zones. We also have some step-out holes to come from a parallel zone called the 141 zone, which I believe has tremendous potential. Outcrops on both sides of the mountain. There's 2,000 meters of strike length. You can see that drill hole 1182, 6 meters true width of about 10 grams per ton. Wide open to the south. Again, a nice wide ore body, open down dip, and also open along trend to the north. Additionally, one important aspect is the halo to the ore body, and I've got some core at our booth if you want to come and see it, also carries gold, so any sort of external dilution, which is an important thing to consider for any underground project, again, also carries between 0.5 gram and 5 grams per ton. So we're currently drilling in the JW zone. I'm overdue to get some drill results out here, actually. We just finished drilling the thickest portion of the ore body in the AV zone. Going to try and get something out later this week, but since I'm traveling, it'll probably be early next. Just a quick cross-section. You can see there's a nice big thick area that comprises the bulk of our resource. That long tail continues for hundreds of meters down to the south, so we're going to do some down dip holes. Hopefully we'll be able to find another big thick fat area. And you can also trace the whole mineralized horizon another 800 meters down plunge. And so that, if that continues, that would have potential to more than double the size of the resource if it's consistent with the rest of the deposit. So here's this new discovery. Again, there's not even a plant growing here. This is actually a porphyry, molybdenum porphyry system, but there's multiple stages of gold-bearing quartz veins that cross-cut the intrusive and go into the surrounding country rock. What we're targeting are these flatline structures, and you see those are gold values in grams per ton, so very nice. This one that you can trace for almost 400 meters on surface. This is the one we call Money Rock. We've just wrapped up some drilling here, as well as a little one that's just above that lake as well. So expect some drill results from this coming up in the next few weeks. So, and I mentioned at the start, there's a real dearth of these type of projects. You know, it was kicked off by Claude Resources, being acquired by Silver Standard. Lakeshore Gold was bought out by Tahoe. Kaminak was bought out by Goldcorp. It's a pretty short list of near-term producers in Canada. So there's understandably a lot of interest in a company like this for an affordable project that would make really good money due to the nature of the ore body. So lots of news coming up over time here. Resource update, drill results, permitting milestones, feasibility study, and ideally production in 2017. So thank you very much.